Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle. This is Kyle's Trail Miles, where I talk about all things ultra running and running in general. And today is a weekly recap video. Now, it's Thursday at the time of recording this. I try to get this done earlier in the week, but I just had a few things going on. So here we go. Now, the last 2 weeks were two rare weeks for me where I just had things going on independent of each other. 2 weeks ago, I had something happening. And then last week, I actually had to go out of town for work. And, you know, a lot of the times when I go out of town for work, I have time in the evening. And I'm just like, I'm not a go down to the hotel treadmill guy. Like I'm just not in the winter. If I'm traveling in the summer, I love getting out and seeing, new cities or whatever. But I'm just not a hotel treadmill guy. And, I got an awesome setup here at home with my treadmill. And yeah, I just don't need that when I'm traveling. So anyways, I left Tuesday morning and I was back Friday night. But I did get a really cool run in on Friday, which I'll show you here. But let's just go through it. So, well, actually, first, let me just, I'll jump over and show you the screen here first, and then we can kind of go through. So first, Monday night, I did abs and glutes with my wife. We're doing the new Caroline Girvan Epic 3 series. And let me tell you, like, this thing is crazy. This one wasn't bad. But as I've started to go through them, like, I get the difference now. The difference between the Iron series, which we did before, and now this Epic 3 series is, this is almost more of like a, and I say this loosely, but almost like a cardio weight workout. Like, there's very little rest. So this one's a bad example because my heart rate was only 87. But a lot of these are averaging like up in the 110, 120s for the duration of the 40 minutes. Like the one we did the other night, it was 3 minutes of solid whatever we were doing. I think that one was legs with like not even, I think it was like 10 seconds of rest in between each 3 minutes. And then boom, you're on to another 2 different exercises that you just rotate for 3 minutes. Like it is a whole other level and it's great. I love it. And I can't wait for it to be done. So anyways, we did that Monday. And then I was going to jump on the treadmill, but I had to get ready for, my trip and just get things organized. So, spend time with the kids. You get the idea. So Tuesday, I go and I'm very aware. I live up in Canada. I live in Alberta. So I'm very aware of the weather, especially this time of year. It's last week it was sort of mid-January. And so I'm very aware of the weather. I don't like driving in inclement weather, especially on the highway. In the city, no problem. I'll drive in anything. But on the highway, it's like, I don't need to die. So anyway, so I looked at the weather and I had to go kind of what I would call northern Alberta. I mean, anything to me north of Edmonton is northern Alberta. And so I checked the weather for like 2 weeks leading in, and I'm like, weather's good, roads are good, no precipitation, aka snow on the horizon. Like I'm good. And so I waited to book my hotels until like the last couple of days, and then I'm like, all right, pull the trigger. So the first day, Tuesday, I go up. I had a couple stops to make, and then I was gonna get up to sort of a city up in northern-ish Alberta. And there's this like long stretch of highway that's pretty, what I would consider desolate. And man, did I hit horrible weather, horrible. And I'm going somewhere with this. It's running related. And it was that like, I grew up in Canada. I grew up in Alberta. I'm no stranger to poor weather conditions, but this was, I can only ever remember one time in my life driving in worse conditions than this. So, I'm sure there's a couple I'm forgetting, but like easily top 5, maybe even top 3 worst driving conditions I've ever been in. Like the type where you're driving on the highway and you just totally lose visibility for like 2 to 3 seconds because it was like just blowing wind, like 80-mile-an-hour winds. And then you just, like, you can't see anything. And I'm just like, well, hopefully this return, then sure enough, it would sort of clear out. Anyways. So for this drive, it was about what should have been about a 3-hour stretch of highway. It took me like 7 hours, and it was, I remember thinking, man, like if I go in the ditch, like I'm gonna, and it was almost because if you're probably thinking, well, why don't you get a hotel or something? Well, it was almost like shorter for me to just go to where I needed to go than to like turn around. So, anyways, but point of my story is I'm driving on this like what felt like middle of the night. It was like 8 o'clock at night, but up there in the middle of winter, I mean, it may as well be 2 in the morning. And so I'm driving along this highway, and I'm like white knuckling it, not listening to any music or podcasts. Like all my attention needed to be on what I was doing. And I was thinking, this reminds me of a YouTube video I watched a while back of this guy who gave this really great speech before an ultra marathon about grit. And he talks about people nowadays just don't do hard things. People nowadays lack grit. No one has any grit, which is why you see people crying literally over the smallest things. People generations past would have like laughed at you for. And I remember thinking, you know what? This sucks. I shouldn't have put myself in this position, but I'm here, and I am just going to add this to my grit pile. I mean, as an ultra runner, we do a lot of hard things, but I thought this is a different sort of thing, and this is adding to my grit pile. When I'm out there at kilometer 80 of an ultra marathon and I want no part of this anymore or whatever, I'm going to draw on this exact experience because nothing about this is good. And my biggest fear, if I go in the ditch, obviously that's bad. But another fear I had is, what if I come across someone else in the ditch? I mean, I can't just, good luck. I got to stop and try to help. And where do I pull over? There's nowhere to pull over. And even if I did, I'm just going to get smashed into. How do I navigate that situation? And anyways, just sort of put that out of your mind and hope. Anyways, made it to my destination. Had a great sleep that night. And but I thought, I'm adding this to my grit. So, if nothing else, someday when I'm in a training run or things are getting tough, I'm going to look back, I'm going to draw from that experience. And anyways, so everything goes smooth with my trip. Job there next day, driving. Roads were good the next day, luckily, or reasonably good. And so I get to Calgary, where I had a couple of things I had to do. And then two of my running buddies, my two running buddies live in Calgary. Awesome guys, Murray and Paul. If you follow me on Strava, you see them all the time. And we go into lots of ultra marathons together, and we just, anytime I'm up near Calgary, we run all the time. I go up, and they're who I run with in the mountains, and they're who I'm doing that 300 kilometer loop this year. And anyways, awesome dudes. So I texted them and said, hey, I'm going to be in Calgary. Should be able to have my day done on Friday, and let's go do Prairie Mountain. Now, for anybody who doesn't know Prairie Mountain, it's a mountain in Kananaskis, like Bragg Creek, which is just west of Calgary, and it's awesome. It's 700 meters just consistently up. They actually changed it recently. It used to be just like straight up the mountain, which was awesome, and they recently threw a couple switchbacks in there, which is not a bad thing. It's an awesome climb. So anyways, so Friday I've been super busy at work, like just no time. I try to, when I travel for work, I try to just cram as much in as I can to try to sort of shorten how long I'm gone for. And so finally get done on Friday and meet up with my buddies, and we go up Prairie. So it was awesome. I mean, this is right at the start of the run, so you kind of go up and you're just sort of overlooking the parking lot. And then this is a video of, this is kind of actually at the top where we're coming down, and then I stopped and took a picture, and they start running down. By the time we got to the top, it was dark out, so we had to switch to our headlamps. But just awesome. Like, it's so fun up there. And even though, and actually it was so beautiful, like it looks cold, but right at the top, it was a little bit windy and cold, but once you kind of get down in the tree line, like, it was just majestic. There's the lights of Calgary right there, and it's just like majestic. You're just flowing down this thing. I was going a little slow because I didn't really have proper spikes. I just had my Solomon Exodus, my Saucony Exodus. If you watch that video, my shoe review that I did, I had to take off my little spike things because they were kind of falling off. They weren't really working for me. So I just went down a snowy trail in my Exodus. I was going reasonably slow, but man, they held up great. So anyways, just an awesome run, exactly how I needed to end the week. and this is going up. And it's just, this is basically it for, imagine doing this for like an hour. And this is probably like an average steep spot. So anyways, yeah, Prairie Mountain never disappoints. Yeah, just super fun. So how do I get out of this? So anyway, so we do that. Really, really great. I come home that night, and then the next morning, which would have been Saturday, I do the full body workout with my wife. This was the one actually that was like very, oh man, it was like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like no, I shouldn't even say that. I was going to say I'm not like much of a weight person, but like, it doesn't matter. It's just, I don't care who you are. Like if you do that workout, and that's, I don't know. That's the thing about weight training that I have found, because in my younger years of life, all us, everyone would go to the gym and I'm not discounting that. Going to the gym is awesome. And all the weight training I did when I was younger was great. But there's something to be said about following along on a video than just kind of doing your own thing. Like there's no world where I would do that on my own. Like it just like with that little rest and just going. And like I said in previous videos, once we hit play on that video, like I do not want to pause it. Like I'm in. Like let's go. Let's get this done. And so, yeah, it was just like, it was crazy. So that combined with the prairie the night before, yeah, my legs, I don't know if my legs have ever, my quads have ever hurt that bad. I'm sure they have, because, pain, we have a poor memory. But, man, it was crazy. Like, it was crazy how badly my quads hurt. And then the next day on Sunday, I went for a run. It was reasonably, what the heck? It was sort of nice outside. So I just used the arrow. And so I got out for a run. I was actually going to do like a longer run. And then I ended up cutting it short. I think it was colder than it was supposed to be or something. I can't remember. But this one was a bit of a lesson for everybody out there, especially who has kids. So, and I'm sure as runners, like we all kind of do this. I don't know, maybe I'm just super weird, but I'm running along and I'm down in this river valley. So there's, I'm on trails. Like I try to stay away from roads and whatnot for the most part. And so I'm on these trails, but there's one part like right here where you got to cross this road. And it's like, it's when I say road, I mean like it's down in a river valley of like, it's a park. There's no residential, there's no houses. It's just like, so the road is like a little, pathway road down in the middle of a valley. Like you're not going fast. It's not a wide road. It's right. And so there's only one part where I have to cross traffic. And so I'm coming up to the crosswalk. Now there's a truck coming. Now he clearly has a line of sight on me. I clearly have a line of sight on him. It's not like there's trees blocking us or anything, but I'm not, I'm a nice guy. I don't just like go running across the road like some runners do. I always stop at a crosswalk and wait and make sure the person sees me, and then I kind of walk across. Unless there's like nobody coming, right? But if there's cars, I'm not going to be that guy that just like, it's like nothing. There's nothing that irritates me more than especially like a biker just comes whipping past a crosswalk. It's like, holy cow, man! Like, at least give me a chance. So anyway, so I can see this truck, and I think he can see me. So I'm up to the crosswalk, and I stop about maybe like 5-6 feet from the crosswalk, and I kind of just like, I'm not running fast. And I just sort of slow down. And so I start walking. So I walk right up to the edge of the crosswalk, right up to the road, and I'm just standing there. I'm just standing, and he's like right there. Again, not driving fast, but just doesn't seem like he's slowing down. So I'm standing right in the crosswalk, and he just like, and he's probably like a foot from where I'm standing, right? And he just like, just comes by, and I'm just staring at him, and all of a sudden he goes and he looks, and he sees me standing right there, and then like, and I thought, man, first of all, if I walk out, if I assumed he saw me, because it kind of did seem like he saw me, because he seemed like he was slowing down, because it's just a, again, it's not like a main road, and I started walking, like the dude's running me over. But more importantly, kids don't have that intuitive yet. They're going to stand at that crosswalk. They're going to see him, seems like slowing down, and they're going to start walking, and that dude is going to run them over. And so, I don't know what the answer is. I think the answer is with your kids, like they just got to stop and just wait for cars to, I don't know. But anyways, it's just crazy how people just don't pay attention. And so that's one thing that running out in the world has really taught me, is to just pay so much attention to crosswalks. Like, I'm sure I irritate people behind me, because like when I see like certain crosswalks, like I'm like eagle eye, like I slow down, I make sure, like I'm not taking any chances. And yeah, it's crazy how this guy just like, yeah, he would have run me over. Anyways, so finished my run. That was a good run. And then there again, though, I knew it was like a sort of a recovery week, because I'd been out and about, although it didn't feel like it the way my quads felt. And then, yeah, that was the week. So I'm not going to jump into too much of this week. I've had a really great... Oh, and then... How does that work? 25? We didn't do one on that day, did we? No. Because I did another weight workout on the 26th. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So, that's weird. So for some reason I didn't run on Saturday. I can't remember why. Probably because my legs hurt so bad from Prairie. But anyway, so then I went for the run on Sunday, and then we did another weight workout, back biceps and core. So, yeah, but there again, you can see like 39 minutes at 101 beats per minute. So it's like, there's a lot happening in these. So anyways, good week. I mean, I feel a little bit like pent up, because I haven't been running as much as I've wanted to, but this week already, again, at the time of filming this, it's Thursday. It's been a great week. I've been able to get outside a few times after work. It's starting to get light out now, which is so awesome. I can have like almost 45 minutes to an hour of light after work. This morning, when I dropped my son off at school for like the first time, it wasn't like pitch black. So we're coming. We're coming out of this. We're gonna be running in shorts and t-shirt in no time. So anyways, thanks everybody, and we will talk to you very soon.